Another element of Halloween we can't forget to mention is horror. The horror genre is one of cinema's most famous and popular genres. The films often use suspense, dread, and horror to captivate the viewer and make them experience intense feelings. It is a long history that dates back to ancient myths and legends. As the world changes, so does what people consider scary. But clearly, the frightened feeling horror movies elicit has stood the test of time. To learn more about the history of horror, we're joined now by Garry Leonard, professor of literature and film at the University of Toronto. Professor, where does the human fascination with getting scared come from?
Well, I think it comes from a combination of fearing a loss of control and trying to imagine ways that you could gain control over something that frightens you. I think that's at the basis of dressing up on Halloween, but also most of the horror movies that we see. What it also does in modern life, especially, and a lot of our monsters really began in the 1895. It's the beginning of industrialization. So you had people who had anxiety. I mean, Freud comes along in 1895 and everybody's anxious. And one thing monsters will do is they give you something concrete to worry about. So when you go to the horror movie, they usually start with a lot of anxious people and they notice something's wrong with the house or that somebody looked at them funny. And it's like, oh yeah, I know this. This is modern anxiety. And then they discover long ago, somebody was killed in the basement. And now the creaks at night could be that person, which is terrifying. But also it's like, okay, I'm not insane. There's actually, a murdered person trying to come up the stairs, which you'd think wouldn't be preferable, but it's concrete.
Five Nights at Freddy's just topped Taylor Swift at the box office. Is it safe to say the horror genre is still lucrative?
Good Lord, it is the most lucrative. And if you look at the very, very early work of a lot of now famous directors, their juvenilia, their original works are horror movies. It's huge right now. And the Five Nights at Freddy's, I heard it was getting attention. I had no idea it took over Taylor Swift. But there's actually a term for it now. They call it mascot horror. And Megan did another horror movie. So I think they're more popular than ever. And what every studio is hoping for is a franchise. So Nightmare on Elm Street had 6, maybe even 7 versions. Granted, the quality tends to go down, but people don't care because by then it's like, let's see what Freddy's up to. So this is money in the bank to studios. They love it when, and I suspect they're already very happy because just something about Five Nights at Freddy's that sounds like franchise.
How has the horror genre changed over the years? What differs from what was scary then to what is scary now?
The biggest change is it's gotten more psychological. And if you look at Bram Stoker's Dracula, Dracula is undead. He lives by drinking other people's blood, and he's very other. It's like we don't. And yes, he can bite you, and then you could become a vampire too, and that's terrible. But then you become other, so that's somewhat more manageable because there's a line there. Alfred Hitchcock with Psycho really brought, I think, in a big way, he brought horror into the modern age by making it so ordinary. I just saw a movie you may have caught called Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. I watched it with my teenage son, and I was marveling at how every scene has social media literally in it. I won't, no spoilers, but someone who makes a TikTok winds up being a crucial clue, but nobody sees it until later. They're constantly posting, and horror movies have always been good at insinuating themselves into whatever is currently modern.
Thanks so much for joining us and taking a dive into the spooky, Professor Leonard.
Yes. Well, nice to talk to you.